Toot 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 toot. Train's coming. Get off and go grab some beer. Beer, 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 beer. Hello everybody, welcome back to me, mate Brewski, for another Rooski Brewski review. And today the beer I have for you is something that I probably should have done way long time ago, but I'm finally getting to it now, so better late than never. This is the Steam Whistle, Canada's premium Pilsner, by the Steam Whistle Brewing Company, obviously. New can, matte finish. The old one looked very similar to this. It was definitely a different matte metallic. It was definitely a different finish rather than this matte metallic-y finish. So far, it looks pretty nice. Green background, white and blue accents as well. This is coming in at 5% alcohol by volume. And is there a listed IBUs? No. No listed IBUs here on the can, which is a bit of a bummer. But over on their website, anything about IBUs listings? Not that I can find. But Untapped is again saving the day, and this Steam Whistle beer is coming in at 22 IBU, so not that bitter at all. Like I said, this is a Pilsner, so Canada's premium Pilsner, so obviously the IBUs aren't going to be high at all. So let's crack this open and just get into it. And we're pouring it into my Osthaus chalice style glass. There we go, that seems like a decent pour. Looking at the beer, it is quite clear indeed, other than all the bubbles on the side of the glass. Nice little white head on top there, which you can see there, but this is just a really colorful beer. Very golden in color, yellowy golden, looks almost like honey. Just like that bright yet somewhat deep yellow, and even looking at the bubbles, how they're forming on the side of the glass, look like honeycombs even. So it goes really well with my comment of saying it's like a honey colored beer, and that's kind of cool seeing the bubbles just leave too. It's kind of mesmerizing. I might take a minute here, guys. I get distracted really easily. Just, I don't know, maybe it's the way the glass is shaped, but the bubbles are just leaving. It's really cool, and now I'm rambling. Let's get to smells. There's a sweetness to it. There is a really sweet aroma coming off this, which in a sense, I don't know if it's because I've already made the honey comment or whatnot, but it smells almost like honey, I want to say. I could be completely wrong. There's also some nice, very like bready notes, yeasty notes indeed. You know, it smells like a Pilsner should smell, and it smells pretty darn good. I like that bready note, though. It's like really just like, it smells like fresh baked bread right out of the oven at like a bakery. That's exactly what it smells like. Let's have a sip. There it is. There it is. The big yeasty bready note that I'm getting off the aroma into your mouth, and on your taste buds, and then there's that yeasty like soury bitteriness that I get. I've had Steam Whistle before. I've had it a few times before, actually countless times before. And there's something about it. Pilsners, for me, I'm not a big fan of Pilsners. Just that end flavor, that yeasty, soury, somewhat bittery note that you get from some of them. Really, I haven't come around to it, per se. But I know that it's a part of what a Pilsner is. That's a great flavor profile of it, in my opinion, from what I know at least. And I know Steam Whistle is highly rated for being a really solid Pilsner and a really good beer, from what I've heard at least. And you know what, like it seems very true to style from what they obviously say, which we'll get to that in a minute. But it's just not, it doesn't, I don't know. the end note isn't my flavor. You know, it's a lot of other people's flavor, but that end note is just not my flavor. But maybe after doing this comprehensive review, I might come around to it. We're gonna find out right now. Cheers, everyone. The initial taste, that little bit of sweetness in there, going to that really bready note, but to that bittery, soury finish, that's the one where it toys with me sometimes. This one is very strong. Some Pilsners have it less. Some Pilsners have it more. This one's sort of in the middle on or I want to say moderate to heavy of that flavor, that sour, bittery flavor, but I don't know. It's like I said, it's not my flavor. It's not a flavor that I would choose to enjoy. But we're gonna keep going through this. Maybe by the end, like I said, I'll have come to terms with it and can really appreciate it more and more. It's just one of those things. It's a really good beer. At the start and in the middle, it's that flavor that gets me right at the end. And that's like your lasting impression of a beer is the final flavor as well, because sometimes that lingers, and this one does linger a little bit, not too much, but just a nice little kick of flavor in there indeed. But yes, now let's look on the steam whistle can, and I gotta say, I like their can design. It's really cool. It's simple, but it's effective. It catches your eye. They did a amazing job, and I have to definitely give them points on that. So yeah, steam whistle, 5% alcohol by volume. We do have a description, so let's read that now. Let's read the English one because I don't know French. Steam whistle is one of the only remaining Pilsners in the world that still adheres to the standards of the Bavarian Purity Law Act of 1516. We brew using only pure spring water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. Pure Pilsner. That's really cool. That it is one of the only remaining Pilsners that use, that adhere to that standard of the Bavarian Purity Act. And that's something that, is really cool, and I think I like how they pride themselves on that, because that is something to be proud of. If not a lot of people are doing that, and they're ditching it away and doing different things with Pilsner, it's good to be the one of the few that still listen to it and still follow it to the T, which I think is amazing. And good on you, Steam Whistle, for doing that. Really well done. Independently brewed, Steam Whistle Brewing at the Roundhouse in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Return for deposit, blah blah blah. Anything else? No, not too much else. Just that little blurb, which I think is pretty short and sweet. It gets right to the point. People know what they're gonna get. They're getting a great product, made with the right ingredients and the right way, as the Bavarians wanted it to be done in 1516, which is awesome. Also, looking on the bottom for a brewed on date, this was packaged on August 3rd, 2018, so it's a very, very fresh can, which is awesome. Awesome to brew. I love fresh cans. I just love fresh beer. I think you guys love fresh beer. We all love fresh beer. We've all had beers that have gone bad, whether it be from a can, from a bottle, from a keg, at a restaurant. We've all been there. It's not fun. So fresh beers are amazing. I might be coming around to it now. Just a little bit. I remember the first time I had it, I didn't like that finishing taste. Not at all. And every time after that, sooner or later, I started not absolutely hating it. Something that's been a bit more tolerable. And I think this can, the way that I'm just taking my time with it, I can really, I guess, get more accustomed to the flavor and really appreciate it for what it actually is, which is great. In my opinion, I think that's a great job. On myself, I'm going to toot my own horn there, but that's all I'm saying. I get to really appreciate the flavors that I once thought I didn't really like and kind of even, dare I say, hated it. But yeah, now that I'm drinking it and really just taking my time, maybe it's something I can come around to. It's sort of, more of like a sourdough, like an off-flavored sourdough, soury bitteriness almost. That's the, I guess, the closest thing I can really pin it at this moment, and what I'm tasting and what I can relate it to. And I think that's the best that I can say what it tastes like from my personal palate at the moment, and we're going to roll with that. So an off sourdough bread finishing flavor of this beer. But we got to move over to the website now. And the website is steamwhistle.ca. Easy to remember. They got a lot of information here. You got the about, all their story, their beer, how we're different, our history, green invites, or green initiatives, sorry. I will link the website, as I always do, down in the comment box below, but we're just going to read this little bit here. Let's go over some ingredients and all that stuff. But also including the description on the can, there is a little blurb at the bottom. They say we brew using only pure spring water, malted barley, hops, and yeast, no corn syrup, no foam enhancers, and no artificial preservatives, which is awesome. No beer needs that. No beer drinker really wants that, I don't think. Pure and just amazing stuff is great. You know, that's cool. I really like how they pride themselves on that, and they let you know what's going on. Then they have little blurbs about all the spring water. They're saying that their water comes from an aquifer deep below the Earth's crust, rich in minerals and ready for brewing. That's kind of cool. The malted barley is golden two-row barley from Saskatchewan. This beautiful grain is distinguished by its superior harvest and celebrated around the world as one of Canada's finest exports. Really cool. And the hops, they are delicate cone flour, spice to the beer. To brew a truly authentic European Pilsner, we have sourced fine Czech and Bavarian hops. These hops create balance in our beer and produce the pleasant aromas and bitterness. So that's really cool, seeing how they get the malts from Canada, from Saskatchewan, and they go directly to the source where Pilsners came from, Czech and Bavaria. So that's cool. That's really nice. That's definitely an attention to detail. And finally, the yeast is let's use bottom fermenting lager yeast. We'll actually read it here. Our beer is brewed using bottom fermented lager yeast from Hungary. Fermentation is one of the most challenging processes in brewing an authentic Pilsner, and having the right yeast makes all the difference in the finished product. So that's really, really cool. Then they have a whole blurb about their process, which you can read. Why a Pilsner and brewing a world-class Pilsner. Really cool information. There are some videos as well. And then they show the packaging, 12 packs. And I can't click the other one for some reason. That's not working, but that's okay. There's a lot of information here about the beer and about the brewery. I mean, they only make the one beer. I think in the past they made a few, I guess, I don't know, I would call it a spin-off, same beer base, but just with some differences going on. But that was before my drinking time. Anybody that knows about them, maybe you want to comment them down in the comment box below and let me know. I think they maybe had a slightly beefed up version. I think the Albino Rhino had mentioned that one time before or not. But yeah, if Steam Whistle did any, I guess, variations of this particular Pilsner right here, let me know, and let me know if you want them back, kind of thing, because as far as I've known, Steam Whistle's only produced the one single beer. So that'd be kind of cool if they brought some little variations back and forth, maybe just like some seasonal stuff. If they do that, let me know. I haven't seen them, but yeah, that'd be kind of cool as well. I gotta say though, mouthfeel is very crisp. It's clean, easy to drink. Goes down like a dream. It's refreshing. That flavor there is still getting me sometimes, but I'm getting used to it, guys. I'm getting used to it. Slowly but surely, I may be picking up Steam Whistle as a regular brew to have, because they do come in like 6 and 12 packs and whatnot. Maybe one day, but so far I'm still gonna have it from very, very time to time kind of thing. But like I said, I'm actually enjoying my time with Steam Whistle right now. That's why I think this video is a bit longer, so that I can enjoy the beer and really try to become friends with it, you know, because beer's a friend. And sometimes you don't like a style, but sometimes you just gotta force that friendship. It's getting better. It's getting much better. Finally, moving over to Untapped, Steam Whistle has been given a 3.44 bottle caps out of 5, and that's out of over 32,000 ratings. So a ton of people have had this beer, a ton of people have rated this beer, and it's just a very well-known, solid Canadian Pilsner for the market, which I think is amazing. The brewery location is really cool. It's in that roundhouse with all the this has the circle train tracks and a bunch of old train cars. They have a couple. I think they have some old GO trains and just some other train cars around. Really good place to bring your family, to bring your friends, go down, check it out. It's a really neat location indeed, and the brewery looks pretty cool. It's big open space. I went down there earlier this year for the first time, and it's definitely it looks like almost slightly like a Great Hall kind of just like size kind of thing, but it looks really interesting, really neat, really good vibe in that particular location. Pretty cool indeed. But now I have to finish this and get right to my ratings and finally rate this beer that has been, you know, giving me troubles. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of it. I've never really been a big fan of it. But I think today's the day where I sort of start making that turn and coming around to the actual beer itself. And, you know, it's actually been a pretty pleasant surprise. This is one beer where I've never had this opinion on it, you know, where it's just like people love Steam Whistle, they love Steam Whistle. I'm just like, I don't know. It's not my thing. It's not that great in my opinion. But today, I think we're changing that. So cheers, everybody, on the final sip, and let's get right to my ratings. Steam Whistle, Canada's premium Pilsner. Like I said, if I was reviewing this for the first time and I never had it before, I would probably have given it like a 4 out of 10. But as I sit here today, after having it every once in a while over the past, I want to say maybe 3-4 years, I definitely gotta give it a solid 7.5 out of 10 for my personal taste. I'm still gonna come around to that finishing off sourdough, soury, bittery note finish that I do get, but it's definitely 10 times better than what it was when I first had it. And that just goes to show your palates change, your palates develop, and they become accustomed to different flavors over time, which I think is just an amazing thing. I think that's really, really cool how your tongue and your taste buds work like that. The human body is an amazing thing. You might not know it, but it is. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for this beer for me. Definitely a solid beer, and I definitely know we'll visit this a little bit more now that I'm starting to come around to both Pilsners as a style, but especially Steam Whistle here. As for presentation, looks great. I love the can design. I think it's top notch. I've always loved the can designs. They're very eye-catching. They're simple though, but they do the job. They market themselves nicely. You can't miss this on the shelf. You can't miss it. Like I said, it's simple, but it's elegant. It's Steam Whistle. That's exactly what it is. It's a great design. I don't know. That's one thing I can't get over how nice it actually looks of a can. Little description here, which is perfect. Ingredients are listed right in the description, which is really cool, and they put that on. They pride themselves on that because it is following the Bavarian Purity Act. One thing it is missing though is IBUs, which kind of confuses me. I don't know why they're missing, but that's okay. I'm not Steam Whistle. You guys do what you want to do. But I do like the clearly labeled package on date on the bottom. Points on that. As for the website, tons of information, which I guess is great because, and kind of expected, because you only have the one beer, which is fine. I'm not complaining at all. But definitely, if you didn't have a lot of information on your website and you only had one beer, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? But you have one beer, you have a ton of information. I think that is great indeed. So, with that said, presentation, definitely get, just because it's missing the IBUs. It's the only thing. It still gets a solid 10 out of 10 for presentation. Can looks great, information's there, it's only missing IBUs. Not the end of the world, but your website looks amazing indeed, so definitely deserves a 10 out of 10 on presentation. Now, before I leave you guys, I know this was a long video. If you have any comments, questions, or beers you want to review in the future, you can leave all the information down in the comment box below. If you want to go ahead and like this video or subscribe to me, Mate Brewski, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. With all that said, that's going to do it for me, Mate Brewski, and like I always say, crack your beer and enjoy. Cheers.